NoDQ.com.
Greetings to everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to NoDQ video here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRiftNoDQ. We have WWE Survivor Series coming up. The NoDQ 20-year anniversary is upon us. Head over to NoDQ.com/LA for more details on that. With that being said, let's get down to your questions. First one today comes from Michael J. I know you don't like to get too political, but given the news this week, should WWE hashtag cancel Crown Jewel and end their partnership with Saudi Arabia? If they don't, I will cancel the WWE network. There has to be a line drawn somewhere. The problem with threatening to cancel the network is that people say it. They always say they're going to cancel the network, and they never do. WWE has been able to maintain subscribers, and if anything, the controversy creates cash. More people get interested in WWE and they end up subscribing. The whole situation with Saudi Arabia, the question is not should WWE cancel Crown Jewel. The question is, should WWE have even gotten involved with Saudi Arabia in the first place? There's the whole moral issue of it. But there are also people that say, well, you know, WWE is trying to break ground there and it's a slow process, and WWE is a private company and they're trying to build some kind of foundation and have a relationship with these other countries and try to make progress slowly over time. So there's different arguments. And again, I'm not going to get political about it. It is what it is. I personally have no control over it. Everyone watching this, really, you have no control over it. You can do all the hashtags you want. WWE doesn't care. They're financially motivated. They're going to do what makes them the most money. If canceling Crown Jewel was the best thing to do for the bottom line, WWE would do it. They're not stupid. They're going to do what's best for business. And if running Crown Jewel, they believe in the long run, is the right move for business, and they just have to ride out the storm, that's what they're going to do. Got this one here from Crown Jewel is Coming. Hey Aaron, what's your thoughts on what JBL commented regarding WWE going to Saudi Arabia for Crown Jewel? So JBL basically said what I just mentioned, and that is Randy Orton's take as well, feeling that it would be worse to not go than to go. It's the company line. JBL, Randy Orton, they're towing the company line. I'm sure there's plenty of wrestlers that are unhappy about the situation, but at the same time, wrestling is a business, and for the talents, it's a way to make a living. They have to do what they need to do for their families. They put their families first and foremost, and some might be unhappy, but some just realize they got to go with it, and that's part of the deal working in WWE. I'm not really surprised by JBL's comments, to answer your question. I fully expected that from him, and I would expect that from anybody that is being paid by WWE. They're not going to go out and be critical of WWE because they don't want to get fired. And I've seen some comments, well, what about the idea of people bonding together and trying to form some sort of strike against WWE? It's not going to happen. I mean, it's virtually impossible. And just like with the union topic, it's a situation where WWE can always get new people. Somebody out there will work for WWE, toe the company line, and collect the paycheck. So if one person doesn't do it, even if 5 people don't do it, 5 more people are going to come in. It's unlikely. Just like a union in WWE, an off-season, whatever, it's all unlikely because WWE will almost certainly always find somebody that wants the paycheck and will do whatever WWE wants, and they will go along with it. So it's just the nature of the beast. It sucks, but Money is a big factor for a lot of people, and money talks. Ted DiBiase said it best. Everybody has a price. All right, this next one comes from Billy Rogers. With all the Dean Ambrose teases of turning on the Shield, could you see him turning a crown jewel and helping Braun Strowman win the title? All right, so I'm officially declaring no more Dean Ambrose heel turn questions because he is not turning heel. That is my bold prediction. I want to see if the reverse psychology kicks in. Maybe if I say he's definitely not turning heel, perhaps one day he will turn heel, but I think it's unlikely to happen anytime soon. Let me put it this way. I think the earliest that happens is the Royal Rumble. Maybe Ambrose turns by then and feuds with Seth Rollins and they have a match at WrestleMania. Maybe. But for the rest of 2018, let's put it this way. WWE has several live events coming up through the end of 2018 with the Shield advertised in main event matches. Yes, cards subject to change. Yes, those are dark matches. They can always be changed up. But that tells me right now, as of this moment, the plan is for the Shield to stay a group through the end of 2018. Of course, things can only change. Things could always change, excuse me, but I think it's highly unlikely in all likelihood. This one comes from Jason Bush. With Roman Reigns in the Universal title match and Seth Rollins in the World Cup, who could you see Ambrose facing at Crown Jewel if the pay-per-view happens? I believe the pay-per-view is happening. I would be surprised if it didn't. Regarding Dean Ambrose, I think that he doesn't necessarily need a match, and perhaps WWE may have him involved in some other way. Maybe he is a factor in Roman Reigns retaining his title or Seth Rollins maybe not winning at Crown Jewel. Not necessarily a heel turn, but maybe Ambrose tries to help Rollins and it backfires and that leads to further tension between the two of them. There are different ways it can go. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know if there's any set plan for Dean Ambrose. Maybe he fights Dolph Ziggler again. Maybe he fights Drew McIntyre. Could be any number of things at this point. This one comes from Mr. Yuck. Do you think WWE will wait until Eric Rowan recovers to bring back the Bludgeon Brothers? SmackDown lacks strong heels, so no reason not to push or repackage Harper in the meantime. Unfortunately, I think that that's very much a realistic possibility. I hate to say it, but I feel like WWE has no creative direction for Luke Harper. I said it before, reform the Wyatt family. WWE did not go with it. Bray Wyatt is stuck in limbo right now, and it's a real shame about Luke Harper in particular. The guy's really talented. The fans like him. The fans consider him to be very underrated, yet the company doesn't really give him a big push. And I sound like a broken record here. WrestleMania 2017, he should have been in that match for the WWE title, make it a triple threat. That was a moment that he was getting really hot, and WWE could have taken him to the next level, but they didn't. Got this one here from Chris. One word, Batista. How awesome was his SmackDown promo, and do you see him starting a program with Triple H for WrestleMania down the line, perhaps during the Rumble, and would you want to see it? So yes, I thought Batista did a great job. He was very passionate about being back. He seemed to be thrilled to be there in front of the live crowd. He did tease something with Triple H, and would not shock me if it happens at WrestleMania. Is it the match I want to see out of Batista? No, but that's the match he has been pushing for. He's been very vocal about that on various public forums. So my gut feeling is that's going to be the match for WrestleMania. Perhaps they do it sooner. I've said this before. I would like to see Lesnar versus Batista, or just something different. Maybe even Braun Strowman versus Batista. There's a lot of different things you can do, and maybe Batista's coming back and he's going to have a final run with a series of matches. That would be cool. There's a lot of different things you can do with Batista. But yeah, I think Triple H, Batista one more time, I think it's inevitable that it happens. This one comes from Rollins versus Styles, please. How come The Undertaker never won the United States and Intercontinental title? I think it was because Undertaker was one of those guys that did not need to be a mid-card champion. The Undertaker was always a top-tier star. Keep in mind, his first year in the company, he beat Hulk Hogan. 1 year after debuting, Survivor Series 91, he won the WWE title. So he's always been towards the top of the card, but for whatever reason, he was never booked in the top spot position. However, he was seen as like an Andre the Giant-like special attraction, and thus WWE always wanted to protect him. And let's face it, often the IC title is like a mid-card position. So WWE, I'm guessing, felt like he was too big of a star to hold those titles, and he didn't need those titles. He's the Undertaker, just the Undertaker going out there. That is an attraction, and he doesn't need the titles. Just like Shawn Michaels during his second run, he really didn't need the IC title or the Intercontinental title at that stage of the game, and I think for most of Undertaker's career, he really didn't need it. This one comes from SCW Wrestling Channel. What are your thoughts with what happened with Austin Aries at Bound for Glory? In my opinion, it was unprofessional to not sell the finish of the match and walk straight out. Where do you see him going next now that he is allegedly done with Impact? Maybe Ring of Honor? Well, I believe that we should wait and see what happens with this. I am not convinced that this is a shoot. I don't think Austin Aries is that dumb, first of all. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but my gut feeling is this is a work. The whole thing is a work. I mean, from the Twitter comments between Austin Aries and John Morrison, Impact, whatever you want to call him, the whole thing smelled like a work for me from the beginning. And then they did their little press conference segment. Just everything about it feels like a WCW 2000 worked shoot. And they're trying to work everybody. They need the buzz. They're desperate to get people to pay attention and care about the company. So they did this angle. Would not shock me if Austin Aries, he's not on television. They took him off TV. But would not shock me if he's back for the January pay-per-view. He comes back December and the whole thing is revealed to be a big work. Would not shock me at all if that's the case. But the thing is, will anybody really care? And my feeling is, no, nobody's going to care. Got this one here from King Turbonius. With Shawn Michaels set to return to the ring, what retired superstar or former WWE superstar in the Indies would you like to see return to WWE the most? Easy answer, CM Punk. I want the traffic. Let's face it, CM Punk is a guy that people care about. Whether you like to admit it or not, I know some people have soured on CM Punk. The guy is money. Everyone will talk about him, whether they love him or hate him. He is a person that generates headlines and buzz. And I know this because I run a website for a living. I can see the numbers, what stories people read, and CM Punk is a guy that draws in people. My all-time biggest traffic in the history of the site was that CM Punk pipe bomb. And over the years, when he left, it was a huge story. The UFC fights, big stories. Every time he does something, every time he scratches his ass, it's a story, and people are interested. Don't ask me why. I mean, the guy did quit, but he left an impression on people. He made an impact on the business, and people see him as a guy that was maybe a jerk, but a jerk that was real and told it like it was. All right, that'll wrap things up for this edition of NoDQ Video. Thank you all, as always, for watching and tuning in every single episode. And if this is your first time, I appreciate you watching. I hope you subscribe and stick around for more videos. Head over to youtube.com/AaronRiffNoDQ. Click on that subscribe button and turn on your notifications for the latest updates. And of course, stay tuned to NoDQ.com for Evolution coverage, Crown Jewel coverage, Survivor Series, and all that good stuff. And I will see you guys next time.